I'm detecting something a little humorous. It's had me giggling here. Is
Sure.
you used a pronoun he? Do
Yeah.
you find that there's a clear skew about who your clientele is, who have done dumb
Well, yeah.
things?
Well, so the thing is that I say clients that do dumb shit, but sometimes sometimes it's the person closest to the client that is doing this dumb shit and not the
Oh,
client himself.
oh.
It could it could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a sibling, it
Okay.
could be a relative,
Yeah.
it could be a business associate, it could be a bunch of stuff.
Laughter dances with truth in mostly fictional tales, where reality and fantasy engage in a tango. Welcome back to Mostly Fictional Tales, where we unravel stories both wild and wonderful. And today's guest, we have an assassin. It would be Rajiv Jadhav, the brain behind RSquare Media. He's made a name for himself by helping clients manage and clean up their online reputations, from CEOs facing media storms to brands that need to put their best digital foot forward. Rajiv knows the ins and outs of online reputation management. His company doesn't just patch up problems, it offers a full strategy to ensure that a client looks their best when their name is typed into a search engine. And in a world where first impressions are often digital, Rajiv's expertise can be a game changer. Let's bring in Rajiv and hear how he can make that magic happen. Here it comes on in.
Okay, cool. So, hi everyone. Nice to meet you all. Ken, thank you so much for having me on your amazing, world famous show. I am, I guess, now officially internet famous,
You are
given
internet
that,
famous.
yes,
Yeah.
given that I'm on Ken's podcast. So,
I,
thank you for inviting me, Ken. It's a huge honor.
the $20 I paid you to say that. That is, oh man, that warms my chest. Rajiv, you always know what to say to make me all melty. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
For the home
Yeah, so
audience, this here's Rajiv Jadhav. I met Rajiv, and the way I was introduced to Rajiv is that he's an assassin for hire. But what he doesn't kill are your enemies. What he kills is your bad reputation. And amongst
that's
other
right.
things, that's what he does. And I am enamored of some of the things that he has hinted at that he has encountered.
For sure, yeah. Ask me anything. I have an open book.
The man is an open book. You know you love to see it, and I know I do. But I think I must remind the home audience that comedy is something that is composed of pain. Comedy is pain plus time. So, you young folks right now who are going through weird, very stressful situations in your life, maybe of your own making, maybe of making of somebody else, or maybe just at the mercy of the fates, then it, give it enough time and it'll be funny. So I'm hoping that I give you all hope. So Rajiv, what's that spark in your mind?
Hope, yes. So if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you will notice that I say hope is the ground that I walk on, and laughter is the oxygen that I breathe. And those two things sustain me. And I cannot live without hope and happiness.
Oh, you know what? I think you may have collected what I've already been thinking.
Hit me with your best shot.
So, you've had to hide things in the past for that people have not wanted. So one of the ways that I over the past couple of weeks, I've been talking talking you up to various folks who want to know what I'm doing and say, hey, are you doing something productive? Well, yeah, I've got Rajiv Jadhav on my line here. He is an assassin for hire, and he kills your bad reputation. He hunts it down, and he sends it off to the garbage heap. But you've done that for a lot of other folks. Like, for example, if somebody were 20, their name is Ferris Bueller, and they're 20 and they've wrecked Dad's Maserati, and now they're 35, and they're going in for an important job interview, and really the Maserati thing has nothing to do with what they do now. However, it's there, a police report or something like that. So what are the let's start with something that jumps to your mind. You've been asked to hunt down somebody's bad reputation. Is it often they come to you and they tell you what it is they're trying to find and get rid of?
Always.
Okay, so they always know what it is ahead of time, right?
Yeah, it's just like the assassin, right? The client tells the assassin who the target is.
Yeah.
And then once the sniper or the hitman or the or the assassin knows what the target is, then the target gets taken off the board. So that's exactly how this works.
So it's you're not being like hired by somebody to so just go find anything that's negative about me and get rid of it. So it's not a blanket, right?
Not usually. I mean, that does happen very like once or twice maybe, but I would say 99.99 times it's the client already knows what's out there that he wants gone, and then he says, hey, can you just get that gone? And sure, if we find anything else in addition to that, we obviously bring that to the client's attention that they say yay or nay to, as in yay, I want that gone, or nay, that's not relevant, don't worry about it. So, but usually the client says, hey, these are my list of links. Can you just get it gone?
Can you get it gone?
No problem.
But I'm detecting something a little humorous. It's had me giggling here. Is
sure.
You used a pronoun he. Do you find that there's a clear skew about who your clientele is, who have done dumb things?
Yeah. Well, so the thing is that I say clients that do dumb shit, but sometimes it's the person closest to the client that is doing this dumb shit, and not the client himself. It could be a spouse, it could be a child, it could be a sibling, it could be a relative, it could be a business associate, it could be a bunch of stuff. So it's very rare that the client himself is doing the dumb shit. Sometimes it does happen that the client does actually do some really dumb shit, like getting caught on camera on a nationally acclaimed crime fighter show. Being spotted. So stuff like that does
Mr.
happen.
Mr. Hansen is waiting in the wings for you, sir.
Exactly.
Hey there, buddy. What you doing there? Would you like, nice of you to come to my kitchen here and
like that is perhaps something that is similar to when clients do dumb shit. That is, they allow lapses of judgment to kind of take them down to do like some really stupid stuff, which I'm sure in hindsight they realize very quickly was real stupid, and that has cost them their career and cost them their life, sometimes their lifetime savings even, because it takes them forever to get rid of it. Even before I come on the scene, they've spent a lot of money in legal fees trying to deal with that stuff, and that often has put them in such a deep hole that it's very hard for them to get out of.
I'm certain that you've got kind of a gender skew between, that you've mentioned. Sometimes it's the other person that's connected to your client that has something that needs to go away. But I'm betting that your clients have a clear gender skew of maybe 95% male.
Yeah, they mostly are male, and again, to my point, it's like, let's say the client's spouse the client's spouse or girlfriend or someone did something, and now the action of that one person is what's causing the problem for the client. And because the client is this known, let's say, millionaire or billionaire, that then makes the story more juicy, because who cares if the girlfriend of some unknown person does something? Who cares?
Yeah.
But if that person in fact is not unknown, but in fact is a very known public figure like a millionaire and or billionaire, then it becomes real interesting, and nothing sells like bad press.
Yeah.
And it's all about the ratings and the eyeballs for all these press outlets. And that's why the story catches fire, and that's why it gets covered even more, because of the association to that very known public figure who is the millionaire, billionaire, successful business person.
As Winona Ryder, she was caught walking out of a high-end store with something that she hadn't bought, and got arrested for shoplifting, and had a lot of bad press to go with that. But she has continued to work and worked, kind of probably worked long enough to make sure that falls out of the public zeitgeist. But that's clearly something different, like an outlier, as far as that. Really, what we're going to point and laugh at here are the men doing stupid things. You mentioned lapse of judgment, and I'm very, very sheepishly have to admit that I'm dumb and I make bad decisions, especially when a redhead is involved. So, but I don't think that I have anything that is going to keep me from notoriety here at the moment.
And if you do, don't worry. I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, and provided, of course, you have a budget. So there's that.
You might have to spend money to get some of the things removed, I'm guessing, right?
Totally.
That it's not free. It's not I can just...
Hell no.
That I can click this and I can click that. No, you might have to, how often do you have to employ the services of an attorney, an esquire, somebody who's going to charge you multiple hundreds an hour to do legal work?
So, for example, sometimes we work with, we need to, work with an attorney that's part of our team, who will send like these DMCA takedown notices to certain publishers because they have knowingly or unknowingly distributed copyright content.
Okay.
So sometimes that is part of the task or the ask, to kind of get copywritten content removed from certain publishers, because that's the intellectual property of the client, and the client doesn't want that content floating around where it isn't being monetized by them, right? So that is sometimes where the sharks come into play.
The sharks?
Yeah, well, lawyers are called sharks, right? So there you go.
Okay, there we go. Friends, you are watching Mostly Fictional Tales, where we have opted for the fiction here today to protect the guilty. The guilty would really like for you all to forget that one thing. So let's just do them a solid and let's just play along here.
Yeah, but Ken, just for the record, whatever I've stated so far is 100% fact, not fiction. Just so you know.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. I don't want the audience members to think that we're deliberately making fiction. I'm just saying we have, the show's called Mostly Fictional Tales. It gives us, a certain freedom from the shackles of accuracy in service of our entertainment.
Sure,
but we're not trying to mislead you. But sometimes when we're BSing back and forth, we can't help but do that. But I'll supply. If you end up telling me all sorts of things true, Rajiv, then I'll supply the fiction. We've got you as a starship captain, and in various versions of your life where you've had to
Yeah,
go and assassinate something.
that's why I'm wearing the Star Trek pin, if you notice. I don't know if it's visible on camera, but hopefully the
It is now.
shiny metal gets seen. Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
it is now. Yeah, I really like that. I'm glad you pulled that on and like showed it to me in passing, because it made me think that, hey, we should do a bunch of Star Trek generated art with that as the thing. And
Absolutely.
oh
I'm like a
man,
Star Trek all the way long. Live long and prosper to those that are watching.
I
Yes.
live long and prosper, my good friend. But we're not at the end of our conversation here yet, Rajiv. For the friends at home who have been looking at this and wondering who are we talking to, we are talking to Rajiv Jadhav. He is an assassin for hire. He hunts down your bad reputation and he takes it off the board. That's right. He's a man on a mission. He knows the tricks. What? So when you let's have you regale me with something that.
Yeah, so it's basically high net worth individuals, like I said, millionaires or billionaires. Those are the most common client that I work with because my service ain't cheap, and the people that usually can afford my service are the people that have the most to lose. And the people that have the most to lose are usually the people that are in the higher income bracket.
Okay.
So typically millionaires and billionaires.
So,
Yes.
like those particular people who their reputation ends up affecting their net worth or something like that,
Exactly.
because of, hey, they're going to miss out on a business connection, or somebody's not going to want to go into a contract with them because of the
Yeah,
craziness.
like Nike or Disney or Hulu or Netflix, yes. Brands like that may want to drop them like a hot potato because of alleged wrongdoing or bad behavior, like
Okay,
racial slurs or anything like that.
sure. Somebody having a moment where they did not really choose their words quite correctly and now actually kind of regret it.
Or like in Trump's case, allegedly the mics were supposed to be off but weren't off. And
So
of course, they had like a
he,
so-called locker room conversation
uh-huh.
on primetime news or whatever
Yep.
that was.
Yep, and that a few Octobers ago, back in 2016, was a big stumbling block. He really didn't think he was going to win then, and I didn't think he was going to win either. Oh, imagine that! Like as you know, in the Star Trek universe, there is the alternate timeline which takes you down to the goateed Spock,
Yeah, the mirror
the
universe.
mirror universe. That I have a friend who is convinced we have crossed over into that from
It's
2016.
it's it's possible, but you know what? It's like a conspiracy theory suggests that UFOs come from mirror universes.
I've heard
And
that. I've heard that.
yeah, so
However, am rather convinced that UFOs are some sort of magnetic atmospheric thing that show up on thermal cameras these days. Because the better cameras that we get everywhere, when people have these marvelous, devices, these smartphones like this, they have we put more cameras out, and yet we're not getting any better views of these
well, so
visitors, are we?
they've been declassified already,
Eh,
and they've been captured like by various USAF like drones and
uh-huh.
fighter pilots that see them
Yeah,
very often in
yeah,
certain parts of the world. So I
yeah.
think again, obviously that's not my area of
I,
expertise.
yeah.
My focus is being the best assassin ever. So yeah, but yeah, it is.
Assassin of your bad reputation.
Yes, yes, yes. But sci-fi definitely is an area of interest, as is pretty apparent with me wearing my Star Trek com badge over here from Voyager. And yeah, so I'm like a huge into sci-fi, and I think it would be absolutely fascinating if it were true, if we have like confirmed evidence of alien life, and if they can make contact, regardless of what scene, whether it's Independence Day or War of the Worlds or Star Trek or whichever sci-fi franchise you like the best, or V for Visitor, like whichever one you like. But I just hope that happens, because I think that would just make life a little bit more interesting.
I think you said it very well. It's that kind of thing that might make life just a little bit more fun. To have some fun things like that. Thanks to Rajiv Jadhav from RSquare Media for joining me today and sharing insights. But we are only halfway through. Join us for part 2 next time, where we explore more of Rajiv's online digital reputation strategies. If you like what we do here on Mostly Fictional Tales, you can help out in a couple of easy and free ways. Like, share, subscribe. They're free, they don't cost you anything, and they keep my channel growing. But if you're a real difference maker, head on over to Patreon. The link is in the description below. I cannot do the show without you. For the time being, I have been your Captain Rathgar, and I advise you all, be good. But if you cannot be good, don't be caught.